Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the shop. Not to steal AVE's quote, but you are at my shop and I am welcoming you back. So, there you go. I have a problem with my truck that it just does not want to return to idle. Sometimes it will, sometimes it'll do it 4 or 5 dozen times, and then sometimes it'll just hang up there around 1,500, 2,000, and you have to stomp the gas pedal. Brand new gas pedal, brand new accelerator cable, brand new throttle body. Yes, there's a little bit of play in this, but it's up and down. And so I suspect the culprit, I hate these stupid breather tubes. I'm gonna rip them off one day and just put an air breather right on the front of the engine. Or I should do something with plumbing pipes, and how I used to be a plumber. Alright, let's lay that out of the way. But anyway, it just will not consistently drop back to 700 RPM. And that makes it real difficult to drive, because when you're expecting the throttle to fall down, it doesn't fall down. And so you get your clutch and gas matched to that, and then the next time, the very next shift, or 2 shifts later, it drops down. So you let the clutch out and you run into the engine, because the engine is now slower than it was before. So I suspect it's my throttle position sensor, because the way this one works, it doesn't go in a groove on the bottom of the throttle body like I would think it should, so that when you take the throttle up, it goes up, and when you let the throttle down, it forces it down. No, it has 2 pegs, and it sits in there like this, and it goes up, and when the throttle comes down, the spring in the throttle position sensor is allowed to bring itself back down. It's not forced down. So that's the only thing that I can think of. And I have to undo these 2 coolant lines, so they're up high, and the system has the vacuum on it because it's cold. So what I'm going to do, in theory, now I am a mechanic, but I didn't go to school for it. But there's, anyway, long story short, I'm going to crack the relief valve lever over here on the radiator, and hopefully that if there's any vacuum on it left, that it'll pull water in from the reserve tank or the overflow tank, not air, when I crank that line. And nothing. So it's all done. And I may not take those lines off. Just depends on how much of a pain in the buttocks they are. So we got to pop our throttle off. And now I need a 8mm. I believe is what that little aggravating thing is. Nope. It's a 9. But if anybody out there has any idea why, I've asked several people, and several people just won't help me. They just look at me. We'll go look it up on Google. Well, Google's not the solve for everything. I even joined several Facebook groups, and, well, one of those metric nuts is just doesn't want to be metric, and it doesn't want to be standard. I don't know why. I've run into that a couple times. See, 3/8 fits it, jam up. But every other bolt on this truck is metric. I mean, snug fit metric, but that one right there. Alright, so what I need to do is essentially, hopefully I don't have to take it off, but my throttle body, my idle air motor, always bang my hand on that, but I'm going to unplug it just in case. I'm hoping that I can just take the throttle body off of the plenum and take the throttle position sensor off the bottom of it. So we'll see. That might be wishful thinking. I don't know. But it just will not act right. And I paid $400 for that throttle body, and I cannot find an OEM throttle body. No matter where I look. I found one on eBay. I found some at Rock Auto, but they're got some slight differences. And when I go to ask somebody, they won't tell me. They want me, well, put it on the rack. Well, why do I have to put my truck on your rack for you to tell me if this will fit, or why this won't fit? In other words, garages won't help me. Mechanics won't help me unless they're making a dime off of it. Well, I know people have to make money, but I don't charge for near half of the stuff that I do. It doesn't hurt to put this up here where I don't lose my bolts. The nice thing about magnetic trays, even if they fall, most of the time stuff will stay in them. Alright, let's see. So we got to do a swivel universal joint to get down there. And I'm going to tell you something. Universal joints are wonderful things. But I don't keep them very long. As soon as they get wore out, they go in the trash. Because if you can't get that universal joint to go down through there and just stay in one position, then it doesn't do you any good. Because it just flops. And nobody likes a weak universal joint. I started to say something else, but I cleaned it up. Put my hand down there because this bolt right here likes to fall off. I'm going to just cock it up like that and pull her out. There we go. You know, hey Ford, if you're watching, which I doubt you will, but if you watch, do me a favor. Put the damn hood latch, one on each side of the hood. So when the mechanic is leaning straight over the engine, the hood latch doesn't bury up in his gut and cut his spleen in half. Good gravy. Let's see here. This is the one that's really a pain. Ooh, that was tight. I think I've had problems getting that one in. I do know what I've done. Anyway, hopefully I have a broken spring in the throttle position switch, or I don't know what the problem could be. Really? Come on. It just changes. And I don't know if it's the computer. I've done check the throttle position sensor, and the voltage is where it's supposed to be when it's at idle. But then you look and the throttle is setting off of the binding screw. It's partly off of it. Well, what do? You work the throttle, it goes down. So we're gonna see. Uh-oh. We got something here in our way. We're gonna have to take off this top hose because I have it all wire tied to the engine to keep this hose picked up off the alternator. So I have that covered. I have a plug. I mean, not a plug, but it's a plug to me. But it's a cap off of the silicone tubes. I've never used one. My dad keeps them. I've been wanting to fill them with something, but anyway, my dad keeps them, and they work real good for sticking in transmission lines and coolant lines of that size, from 1/8 inch all the way up to, I want to say that's about 3/8. You just plug it up in there, and if it's oil, slippery, you just put your little tape around the end of it, or a wire tie, or I've taken a rag and draped the rag over it like that, and then go down the side of the pipe and tie the rag off just to hold it in, and it stops the drip. And it's really good for post-nasal drip too. You won't let it shoved up your nose. Alright, let's see if I can get this thing to chooch. Didn't like it when I had to put it on here, and I don't like it now. I don't know why. There's so many throttle bodies out there that are not heated. They say it's to keep it from freezing up. There. Push it right down in there, Bob's your uncle. So now we can get this somewhat out of here. You know what? It looks like I'm going to have to pull off my vacuum line over here and take my throttle position wire, my idle air motor wire off. There we go. Come on, help me. And see if I can get this thing to roll right on around there where I can watch it. Okay, well, I just saw part of the problem. Place the binding. But that doesn't. Whew, I need a rag. That thing's slap full of grease and grit. I wouldn't run either. Alright. I've tried oiling it up. I don't know what, if anything, is the 100% culprit. We're going to try and take it off. And thanks to Ford putting Phillips head screws, which in my opinion don't belong on a car. They don't hold the best. That sound you're hearing is the me squishing on the radiator hose, sounding off through that little tube right there. Anyway, back to the heated thing. I think the heated thing warps it, or tries to make it warp, because it only heats down one side. It doesn't go all through the whole thing. Here I am taking my truck apart, and I gotta go to the doctor in 2 days. Now some things just don't sit well with me. Let's see. Let's see here. Well, it doesn't go that way. Well, that doesn't want to turn it off. Let's see if I can get that out of this harness. Need the proper screwdriver. Lift up on that just a little. There we go. And we'll see. Lay that over here. Pull this out. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's not a groove. It's just two pegs, and it hits on the lower side. It hits right here and right here. So this thing's allowed to spring back on its own. And it could very well keep the throttle up. But I want to see how it spins. That's real gritty. But it springs back. When you try to do it with one side, you're pushing it off center. It doesn't do right. But if you hit it like that with the pair of nail nose opened up, wait a minute, I just found the problem. I think it's not coming all the way down. Nope, coming all the way down. So I don't know what's doing it. I don't think I have the money right now to buy it, and you can't run without it. So, I mean, the truck will run. The truck will go down the road just fine. It's just aggravating as all get out that it won't come to idle every single time without fail. See, that's a bearing in there. That shouldn't be binding. Huh. My binding screw has moved. And it's allowing the throttle to bind. But that throttle plate's not coming back all the way down, vertical. Well, it's binding on something. I feel it. Wish it would wear in. Quit binding. It was wide open. Alright, well that's off the screw. The binding screw shouldn't move. Cut the camera off while I fool around with that. I don't know why that's doing that. Well, maybe I won't cut it off. I'll be right back. Gotta step in the shop. what it is. I know it's a pain in the butt. But that screw is there only to stop it from binding, not to set the idle. And I don't know why it's backed off. Hey, Loctite on it. Alright, there we go. Now we can actually right there. There you go. Alright, so we're gonna go for the rest of our position sensor. And I'm gonna look up one and tell the wife to bring us one home so that we can hopefully fix the truck. So this doesn't go on there, but any but one kind of way. And you can't you know, if the voltage isn't right for this throttle, you can't adjust it, you can't loosen it up and turn it around. And the computer takes the signal from here to tell where the throttle is, to tell the idle air motor what to do so that it can set the idle. I think the thing, I wonder if I put it on wrong. Well, can't go on wrong, it won't go backwards. But I don't know if that makes any difference which way it goes on. I'm gonna look that up too. So we'll go look that up, find out, make sure so that we're not making a mistake and looking like a fool. Alright, I'll be back. Bye.